Welcome to another Warhammer Fantasy React. Today I get to learn about the Skaven clans. I'm sure they're all sane and rational. Enjoy! Hello again, Mr. Erebus. Alright, let's learn about the Skaven. We love rats here. We're very cool. Rats are cool. Wow, he's so friend-shaped. Rats are friend-shaped. Look, it's Pen! Once we get back to the rat. When we get back to the rat, that's Pen. Here we go.
Warhammer has a lot of rats. There's plenty of normal rats to go around in any of the settings, because be it the 41st millennium or the magical mortal realms, these little critters are hard to get rid of. It's so far only Alberta that has managed to remain free of them in real life. In 40k, there's ratlings, which are granted actually hobbits, but rats in the name and they're little fellas.
Hobbits? Okay, but where's their cute little rat ears and tail? They're just okay. All right, okay.
So they still kinda count. And of course, there's the Skaven, the premier ratman of Warhammer Fantasy and Age of Sigmar, and one of the more unique things GW has ever created. God bless the people that decided to give rats machine guns, because that's very fun. But even these despicable morons have to have some form of organization. Their main idea for things may be throwing rats at a problem until it's solved, but they have to all have some vague agreement that a certain thing is a problem to do that. Thus we come to the various clans of Skavendom. A few of them are different flavors of mad scientists wielding...
Okay, mad scientist ones. They're rats in name only. Oh, space hobbitses. Okay, they're only name only. Short kings. Basically the halflings of 40k. All right, so they're not actually like rats then. Okay. All right. Look at them. Okay, let's see. So we have like warlocks?
Either technology beyond the realm of sanity or creating the most horrific abominations that would make Frankenstein look tame. Others are sneaky ninjas, darting in and out of the shadows to achieve what they want. And more still subscribe to the time-tested method of outnumbering the enemy 100 to 1 and drowning them with pure weight of rats more than anything else. The clans of Skavendom are beautiful to behold in the way only absolutely horrid...
Is that like a mole rat that he's on? I didn't even think about a mole rat. You want to hug one? I mean, I don't think they'd be friend-shaped, but... We would make sure they're friend-shaped. Yeah, magic rats. Well, we have ninja rats. We have magic rats. I'm assuming we have warrior rats.
Things can be. So let's take a look at the different clans of them you can expect to find in the Warhammer world. But before we start, a quick shout out to Minimaker, this video's sponsor. What's Minimaker make? They make minis, dude. It's in the name. 3D printed minis for playing tabletop RPGs or war games with that you could drop off the table and they'll be fine. Minis for displaying nice and pretty on your shelf. Minis that are on a budget but still look phenomenal. They've got a quality option for each of those choices, and you have plenty of options of minis to purchase. Just as good as their quality is how they get it to you. All of it's made to order, which means there's no need to worry about either a mini being out of stock or a scalper buying all the stock and then hoarding it like a dragon. You will get what you want, and it'll ship worldwide within 2 to 10 business days. I have waited longer for medical supplies than I did for the minis they sent me. That is not a joke. That is how good their shipping is.
Who could have guessed?
And if you have any questions or suggestions, you can reach out to them no problem and tell them what's on your mind. Is something missing from the store? They'll add it as a mini. You can make suggestions for minis to be added, and they will add them. If that isn't grade A customer service, I don't know what is. To get in on these phenomenal minis, it's nice and easy. Go to minimaker.com and start shopping. If you buy enough minis, you can even get points to buy more minis with. And if you use code Pancreas at checkout, you get yourself a 10% discount. Head on over to minimaker.com now, use code Pancreas, and get yourself some phenomenal minis today. Now then, time to invest in rat poison. To start off, I should say that there are untold thousands of...
Whoa, there's so many. I thought there wouldn't be that many. Oh, because it's different clans. So they're still rats, but different clans? Are they different, like, species as well?
Skaven clans even before we get to Age of Sigmar, where their numbers started reaching the singularity. Some of them are truly massive, numbering in the hundreds of thousands of rats. Others are just a few isolated vermin with maybe a single good thing going for them. Most of them, however, take influence from one of the great clans, which is what we'll be talking about today. It's not a hard set rule that the Skaven clans are all copies of a greater one. There's one clan, Clan Rictus, that has its claim to fame in the form of tolls they force on anyone entering or leaving the Darklands. Another, Clan Scurvy, are exactly what you think they are, pirate rats. There are as many things for a Skaven clan to be about as there are Skaven clans out there, because while the rats love to steal things from everyone else, they also get up to plenty of wacky nonsense when left to their own devices. But the great clans, as you can expect from the name, have such massive amounts of influence that their cultures and more leak into the rest of Skavendom. So for the sake of simplicity, we'll focus today on those great clans, as well as one other particular highlight. Starting us off, we have... Welcome to Rat Raytheon, young engineering major. Say goodbye to your moral code and say hello to making new and exciting ways to detonate dwarfs. Fair's fair, though. The words Skaven and moral code were never together to begin with. Clan Scryer is the wealthiest Skaven clan out of all of them, and one of the 4 reigning great clans. Their power lays in both the realm of mundane technology as well as arcane might. And
I was gonna say, they said mundane technology, but like they got, this doesn't look good. Skype, yeah. It kind of looks a little toxic with like the plague mask. I mean, it's not exactly a plague mask, but with the gas mask a little bit. It's a little spicy already. War crimes. I mean, they're starting out guns blazing already, or should I say green clan Skype, green fumes blazing.
Given how prevalent warpstone is in Skaven society, those things frequently overlap. To give you an idea as to how prolific they are, pretty much every Skaven weapon out there was created by these guys. Rattling guns, Jezzails, mortars, warp fire throwers, doom wheels that run down the enemy, artillery cannons that can destroy the moon. If it's anything more than a rusty spear, it probably came from a Scryer workshop.
So they just created everything. Okay, alright. So they like everything. Okay.
Don't take that to mean that Clan Scryer only makes weapons, though, because there's plenty of non-violent things they make as well, as much as a shocker as it may sound for a Skaven to make non-lethal creations.
Yeah, there's a shocker.
The warp lights that allow the rats to see in their tunnels are another invention of theirs, as is the warp rail that connects the entire Under-Empire. That's right, the Skaven have subways. It was Clan Scryer...
The Skaven have subways? Wow, it's literally just New York, innit?
Digging machines that excavated those rail networks as well. Clan Scryer is so powerful and rich because they make the things the lore doesn't focus on. Those little things that you logically know need to exist, but they're boring, so they aren't really talked about. Their influence runs deep because of how widespread their stuff is, and though no Skaven clan has ever quite taken down all the others, Clan Scryer's in a position to cause perhaps the most damage if they went rogue.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised they haven't just destroyed everything else. It just seems like they're just causing chaos. They're literally just New Yorkers now. Of course, they have subways that yearn for their true home. It's where the rats live, the subways. Probably better organized in New York, too. Oh, 100%. 100%. Even rattling guns, Clan Skyers got you covered, Yura. I mean, they're just come up with everything. So, like, I feel like you wouldn't want to be on their bad side. Like, what happens if you just, like, upset them? Then you're just gone. Like, they'll just delete you. They'd be like, ka-chow. Point of view, you took a wrong turn in New York City. RIP. Skaven are everywhere in the world, and the entire underworld empire is connected to Skavenblight capital. So of course they need trains. How did you think they go to a meeting? I don't know, by walking really fast, because you know they're walking here. Okay, they don't actually. New Yorkers don't actually say that. It's just for the funny.
Only matched by one other. Really, they could just stop selling stuff to everyone. The only people that might have the power to force them are the Grey Seers, given that they're the mouth of the Horned Rat and all that.
Okay.
Everyone else has to pay top dollar for Scryer weaponry, because for all that it is still Skaven equipment and therefore prone to exploding, Scryer does good work. Would you rather be a Skaven clan with access to rattling guns, or one banned from ever touching one of the things?
True.
That's how Scryer stays in business. I was tempted to say that Clan Scryer is one of the more dangerous Skaven clans to be a part of, but then I thought about it, and that's an almost meaningless statement. All Skaven clans churn through rats like popcorn. That doesn't mean anything to say one is particularly dangerous. Instead, here's their specific way of getting themselves killed.
I mean, I was gonna say, they sound like they're a little spicy. Sounds like it. Main issue is that Skaven technology is 90% likely to explode on you. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of quirky. Kind of cute.
Because Clan Scryer is all about engineering projects, they naturally spend a lot of time researching. Now, even in the real world, sometimes things go wrong. Just look at the Demon Core. A slip of a screwdriver and everyone in that room became a dead man walking.
Oh.
Clan Scryer is that, but not only do the rats not care if you blow up, sometimes you blowing up is either the point or a happy accident they're going to put more research into. Health and safety protocols do not exist, for such things are not the Skaven way. Clan Scryer's research, even for the most mundane of things, involves a body count of the dozens, if not hundreds, and for some of this stuff, it's absolutely reaching the thousands. I would guarantee you that rattling guns were tested on thousands of Skaven slaves before they were ever deployed to the field. And Skaven engineering being what it is, even the non-weapon things they create are probably rickety pieces of garbage that only work just well enough to be sellable to other rats. The life of a warlock engineer and his acolytes are one fraught with peril, not even from other rats necessarily, but from their own deranged experiments. Other rats will, of course, also try to kill them the moment they look like their research is going to succeed, though. Why do all that troublesome research yourself when you can kill the guy who did, copy his notes roughly accurately, and take credit? But all of this is irrelevant.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised they don't, like, delete each other and try and take their stuff, but then never mind, apparently they do. Rat subways, forget about it. Who needs safety? Apparently not the Skaven. Friendly fire doesn't exist in Skaven society because it implies you wouldn't want to shoot your own troops. I mean, yeah, no, they really don't care, do they? They really don't care. Skaven engineering, they just don't. They're just like, oh, I'm just gonna delete it. Back in time for Rat. Hello, Pen. Yeah, look, we're learning about the Skaven. Demon Crow's handle these 2 massive lumps of radioactive material. Oopsie, I slipped. They touched. Yep. That's kind of what it seems like the Skaven are all about. That's kind of, yeah, why do you and the other rats just not coexist? Yeah, why don't you like your fellow rat brethren? Come on.
If a warplock engineer can make one moderately successful project, be it a weapon or something like those warp lights to assist the Skaven in day-to-day life with, he will be rich beyond his beliefs as he milks it for everything it's worth. More importantly for the whole, Clan Scryer will be able to profit from his inventions as they sell it to the rest of the Under Empire. 10,000 dead slaves and a few dozen dead warlocks is nothing compared to the amount of warp tokens that can be raked in as a result of a new invention, and every warlock wants to be the one to invent it and take credit for it, more importantly. And Scryer technology, for how unreliable it is genuinely more advanced than anyone else's. The dwarfs will occasionally use oil in some projects like their gyrocopters and the Spirit of Grungni, and they do have some trains. The Skaven, meanwhile, have invented Skype, underground rail networks, and energy weapons. Even from their point of view, Scryer tech can be unreliable, but that's where the difference between people and Skaven comes in. A human army outfitting their soldiers with weapons that have a 1/3 chance of exploding would be seen as cruel and evil, as well as just wasteful.
Yeah, rats just don't care. They're like, oh, we made this, you're gonna use it, and if it deletes you... Tough nuggets, kiddo. Like, come on. Good times are war crimes for a reason. Yeah, this is crazy. They're just like, well, if literally, it's that quote that someone said before from, like, Lord Farquaad, like, some of you may die, but it is a risk I'm willing to take. Like, come on. Back with Clanarion, I think still did the same one. Yeah, literally, same brain, Cisco. Same brain.
To the Skaven, who cares if they explode? As long as Scryer's stuff kills at least a few enemies before it takes out your gunners, and it's almost certainly reliable enough to do at least that, it did the job it needed to. Of course, the likelihood of something going wrong tends to scale with how grand a piece of tech it is, but that just means you have to be farther away from it when it's deployed. And really, did you want to be next to the Warpstone nuclear bomb when it went off anyways? Clan Scryer is in fantasy ruled by Morskatar. There's not much known about this rat, but as a member of the Council of 13, you can safely assume he's incredibly smart, dangerous, and cunning. In fact, he's over 400 years old and once was able to declare himself the Emperor of Skavenblight during their second civil war. Scryer technology may be the only thing keeping him around, but at the end of the day, it is keeping him around, proving his capability as an engineer. And by virtue of being a Skaven 400 years old, you can assume he knows how to handle any upstart underling acolytes.
There's a rat that made it to 400 years old. I'm surprised I haven't tried deleting him.
That might
yeah, same brain, Mobros. Yeah, Skaven living 400 years is insane. I was literally thinking the same thing. I was like, there's no way, because they would get rid of each other in a heartbeat.
Try and take credit from him, or as it were, keep him from taking their credit. For one last thing, I would theorize that Clan Scryer interacts with non-Skaven non-violently more often than most other clans do, because the thing about Skaven research and development is that it as often as not it involves stealing stuff from the other races. If they can get their hands on a dwarf cannon, they don't have to go through the rigmarole of designing a whole cannon. They just have to jam it full of warpstone and see what happens when they fire it. So it benefits them to be, if not sneaky, then much more directed with their assaults.
They tried a lot. He's not dead yet. How'd he do it, man? They did try. Many did try bleeding him, but failed. Geneva doesn't exist. Oh, they've definitely tried killing him. He's just been clever enough to survive. I mean, I feel like a lot of the Skaven don't make it past a couple of days at this point. Like, once they can, like, create everything and think about it. Skaven can get de-aging treatment, it seems. Or maybe they can just live forever as long as someone doesn't, get rid of them himself. So I don't know how I managed to get through the whole Clan Scryer section without mentioning Ikit Claw a single time. Well, it's not over yet, is it?
Non-violently interacting is
yet.
definitely not the best way to put it, but essentially they aren't attacking you because it's part of a glorious scheme to bring about Skavendom's rise to power. Not just because of that anyways. They probably just want your stuff and are more than happy to kill you to get to it.
Okay, so, who is Ikit Claw then? Is it like another one that like lives forever or something? Or is it something that I can just learn about later? So you live about 5 to 10 years and die from age. I was gonna say the average Skaven full lifespan is 13 years. I was like, it can't be that long because even like rats in real life don't last more than a couple of years, right? There are billions of them. Some of them are bound to be cut above the rest. They're so lucky that they'll fall up the ladder. That's true. There's always gonna be one that's like a leader-esque. Their best engineer, biggest brain. Oh, who doesn't like stuff? I too enjoy stuff. He's the strongest, smartest warlock of Morsicatar from Skyray. How come they didn't mention it then? They only mentioned the 400-year-old guy. Clan Molder. You see, these look like naked mole rats. I mean, I know they're just naked rats, but like their eyes are covered, so I'm assuming they're blind in tunnels. Claw's the best engineer. Is a legendary lord in Total War. Oh, why would they not mention it then? Or maybe it's just too much thing. Basically a Skaven nuke. Oh. So the main engineer from the clan is crazy, completely murder obsessed, and just like me, for real, for real. Nah, no, I don't think so, Pen. Nah, I don't think so. Frankenstein time. This looks a little quirky. He invented the rattling gun. Oh, invented the nuke as well. Well, let's see. All right, now let's learn about the Molder. I'm still gonna call them naked mole rats. Hi, Callard.
The other mad scientist clan, this one being for the Frankenstein.
Because one mad scientist clan wasn't enough, they needed two. Anyway, continue.
Fellows. An ancient clan, their origins date back as far as -1450 in the Imperial calendar, when one of the surviving Skaven, after
Thank you for the $2 super chat, Michael. Hello, happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well.
They accidentally blew up most of the Under Empire, marched northwards, and founded the city of Hellpit, with the area being right on the border of Norska.
Why does this guy have 6 arms? Okay, continue.
And therefore close to the Chaos Wastes, all sorts of lovely abominations can already be found here. The forebears of Clan Molder took one look at all these monsters and thought to themselves, how can we make them even worse? The capital of Hellpit is rich with warpstone as well, further allowing them to do their grisly work. Clan Molder has sure enough become a great clan by virtue of how many different kinds of beasties they create in their lab to sell. Their packmasters will scoop up any suit.
What is this? What the? You guys literally weren't kidding when you said Frankensteining before. What the? What? How? Successful Frankensteining? Because how is this thing alive? Yeah, with bro built like me. What is this? Help an abomination? That's a dog? What the dog doing? What the? It's an actual unit, by the way. This thing is terrifying. This is like what I see in my nightmares. What the?
Interesting creature they find and take it back to a master molder's lair to experiment on. And experiment is only the word I'm using because I can't really think of a better one. Torture is a good way to describe it, in all honesty.
This is torture.
They'll just poke and prod on a creature's insides, adding and removing bits to see what happens, and then when it almost inevitably dies, they'll round up another one and start over again. This is one of the more horrific of Skaven clans because of their focus on biological experiments. When Clan Scryer experiments with a new piece of tech, the danger is that it'll blow up in their face. When Clan Molder has a new formula for warp steroids to test, they're kidnapping animals and people to experiment on with. Though any clans can do it, Clan Molder is one that especially likes to go up and kidnap entire villages Dark Eldar style. One second everyone is going about their day, the next the village is a ghost town.
This is terrifying. I mean, they're interesting, but like, what the? Like, we just feel like doing experiments. Let's go raid this village and completely wipe it out and just do some funky little experiments. That sounds fun. The Hellpit Abomination is one of the Molder's best relatively stable creations as they sell. They have worse stuff in Hellpit, but they ain't selling those. So they make multiple versions of those things. Yeah, nice organs. Yoink. Entire swarm of ratty... What? Molder's body horror? This is what it looks like. Thankfully, it's like... It's obviously grotesque, but like looking at it, you're like, ugh.
Buildings are untouched, food can still be found half-eaten on plates, but all the people are gone, spirited away to Hell Pit to be turned into something horrific. Hell Pit itself is layered like a cake, or more accurately, layered like hell in Dante's Inferno. 9 different levels of atrocities await anyone coming to this place, naturally getting worse and worse as you go down further. Just to get in, there's a river of lava you have to pass, guarded by a rat guardian who glows bright green with warpstone. After that, you start running into all sorts of nasties created by the smartest of master molders. To be quite frank, if you're here, you're either going to become one of those nasties or become food for one of those nasties. Though if you're real unlucky, you might get molded into the walls of Hell Pit. They can do that apparently, and yes, you are still alive and in agony when it happens.
So on top of them taking you and experimenting on you, or making you food, you're alive during all of it. Pog.
For what practical purpose this serves, I don't know, because Skaven aren't like the Dark Eldar in that they get physical and spiritual nourishment from suffering like that. I think they genuinely just like doing that to people. All of this is supported by Clan Molder selling their creations to other races. Everyone wants a kaiju on their side in a war, and Clan Molder is making, if not Godzilla, then at least a decent approximation of him, with a ratty theme for flavor. The least impressive thing they export are just hungry rat swarms, likely slightly mutated at least by warpstone exposure and general experimentation.
Is warpstone kind of like radioactive? Because like they mention it briefly, and it's bright green, and that's like, I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of like that's what's gonna be Tetra's clan then. Tetra already likes the Skaven, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's like Pog. Giant mole rat you saw was a Clan Molder creation. The mutated rats whose babies are chosen as mounts once the strongest one kills the others. Well, that kind of sounds like nature, yeah. Clan Skyra, deadly hamster balls, Clan Molder, duct tape rats together. You're not wrong. Fantasy radioactive. Okay, all right. Okay, it's magic plutonium, chaos uranium. Okay, so it is kind of like that. I kind of figured because it implied it, but I was just trying to make sure it's not like something completely unrelated and I was incorrect. Thanks, guys.
Though most Skaven can't actually control rats, some Molder Packmasters can, and will send them scurrying towards the enemies of Skavendom for an appropriate price. Others are far more obvious in their value. Rat ogres are aptly named and can tear apart the enemies.
Rat ogres. Okay, cool. Alright.
Of the Skaven, as well as other Skaven, and Clan Molder charges a high price because of this. They know everyone wants one. Hell Pit abominations are the cream of the crop, costing the highest price but also being one of the most powerful weapons a Skaven warlord could hope to command. If you'll excuse some more theory crafting, I would have to assume that part of Clan Molder's marketability is that once you buy a creature, it's pretty low maintenance. Just throw it in a big enough cage or hole and feed it some Skaven slaves every now and again. Easy peasy. Whoever has to let it out when it's time for war is also probably getting eaten, but such is the life of the humble clan rat.
Yeah, the humble clan rat, yeah, sure. Warpstone is solidified chaos energy, aka RNG magic. Not so much radioactive as chaos active. Hideously mutates anything comes in contact with or just straight up kills him. Oh, but it's fine for... Wait, no other race but the Skaven can tolerate it. Is it kind of... Okay, if you guys have seen League, is it kind of like what they use? Because now that I saw the rat ogres, is it kind of like the stuff in like, Arcane? Where you could like inject it makes you stronger, but it could also obviously have very, very negative side effects. Is it more similar to that then? It's not hex tech? No, I understand it's not. It's a completely different thing, but is it similar to that? Be sure to remember all this is a test at the end. I'm not going to remember any of this. I'm trying. It's far more unstable than the stuff in Arcane. Okay, it's way worse. Much worse, but similar vibe. Okay, so similar vibe, but like not even viable to use on basic things. Okay. You refer to the shimmer. I don't know what is it called, shimmer? I don't remember. Rat ogres are neat, a giant buff stitched up rat who can be fixed with blades on their arms, even just sharp pieces of warpstones for stabbing enemies. That's one way to use it. Just, integrate it into your skin and attack others. Their minds are diabolical if you think about it. You got the idea of it. It's magical radioactivity for all intents and purposes. Yeah, I'm just trying to make the connection so I understand it. Because, you're like, it's radioactive, but not really. So I think that's, the best connection I can make to understand it. I'm trying to learn.
Clan Molder was also perfectly happy to do custom jobs if you ask them politely and bribe them enough. Master molders are nothing if not artistic with the liberties they take when experimenting on living creatures. Maybe you want your monsters to be especially armored. Thicker skin and metal can be bolted onto it for just a measly few dozen more extra warp tokens. Maybe you want your monsters to also have guns. Well, that's gonna run you the big bucks since that was a clan scry or collaboration project, but stormfiends are wanted perhaps more than even rat ogres, so that can be done too. But maybe you're also a free-spirited rat and want your clan molder contact to do whatever he wants and show you the result. He's gonna happily march back to his workshop, spin a wheel a few times, and add whatever it lands on to his monstrous creation. You're either gonna get upcharged to high hell because he'll lie to you about the work that went in, or you may get a special discount for letting an aspiring artist work on his magnum opus. Either way, it's guaranteed to be horrific, and it'll probably—
Wait, look at the little rats over here too. So there's a Skaven, and then they have little rat friends. Let's go. Look how cute they are. They're just chilling.
Be lethal to at least the first person you sick it on. The Skaven of Clan Molder themselves are an odd bunch, especially mutated by Chaos Waste energy as well as constant warpstone exposure, even by Skaven standards. Rampant hunger, extra limbs, and more are not uncommon to see, and sometimes the line between Clan Molder mutant and Clan Molder creation is functionally irrelevant. Throughout the Unclean has 3 arms, warpstone jammed in his eye, and in his own words, endless hunger.
Warpstone shoved in his eye. Okay, that's something, I thought the extra arm was, kind of quirky, but warpstone in your eye, I mean, that's cool. Of course, we have throughout the Unclean to thank for the creation of the Hellpit Abomination. What? For most other races, warpstone is just an instant bad or neutral mutation. For Skaven, it's mundane or positive. They use it for coins to nukes. Yeah, and they just use it to destroy other people. Skaven sometimes use Giselles, aka giant sniper rifles with warpstone bullets. So if you survive a fist-sized bullet, you'll mutate in horrific ways that you wish it killed you. That's terrifying. Think of it as a permanent monocle. Oh, God. Yes, I like looking at it, but how can I see it closer? Shoves into eye socket, like, hello?
The Pack Lord of Molder's Verminkin, who sits on the Council of 13, is technically 2 rats sharing one lumpy, misshapen, mutated body. They frequently argue with each other and would no doubt try to kill each other if it weren't for the fact that aside from the 2 different heads, they've all got the same organs. Fratricide is a lot harder to pull off when it's also suicide. One last thing of note is that Clan Molder is the best place to be a physically frail Skaven. If you have brains, they'll support your endeavors, not because they actually care about you, but because a smart, if physically weak Master Molder can still create profitable monsters. To be absolutely clear, this is not charity. If you can't immediately prove you're smart enough or capable enough in some way to make up for being a runt, you are now food for someone's monsters. But if you can quickly prove your brain is worth the lack of brawn, they'll probably keep you around.
Okay, well that one was kind of unhinged. It can't get any worse than Frankenstein rats, right? Slaps back of hideous abomination. This baby will kill your enemies, you, any nearby civilians, and anything else it can find. It's just like, huh. What else are you gonna shove in your eyes? I don't know. I didn't think about it. Nothing, hopefully, in her eyes. Total war. Throughout the Unclean will literally just swallow a giant piece of warpstone like pills. So that's great. It's just a little, like, little pills. These guys are fun to play. Master Splinter. The Eshin. Clan Eshin. Okay. So, all right. Time for ninjas.
Master Splinter hasn't been the same since he took a trip to the Chaos Wastes and started smoking crack. Clan Eshin is the stealthy branch of the Skaven Under Empire, specializing in everything from hit-and-run tactics and war to high-stakes espionage and assassination. Calling any one Skaven clan the most feared is tricky because they can all do horrid things to you when crossed, but the threat of a Clan Eshin assassination is something that always hangs over any properly paranoid Skaven warlord's head. Founded by Lord Visktrin, who never got to see the heights his clan would reach on account of running into a dragon, Clan Eshin's forebears traveled far to the east.
Did they just say with a dragon? Hold on, I missed that.
Paranoid Skaven warlord's head. Founded by Lord Visktrin, who never got to see the heights his clan would reach on account of running into a dragon, Clan Eshin's forebears traveled far to the east to Cathay and Nip.
That's kind of sad. Imagine being at the height of your career and then just ran into a dragon. Deletion. Yeah, I got killed by a dragon. Sag. We'll never know.
There, for reasons that I simply cannot fathom, some of them decided it was a good idea to teach these mangy, rabid, evil rats how to be ninja assassins. There was even lore that at one point a Clan Eshin member was an advisor to Cathay. The Dragon Emperor must have been on a bender when that was allowed. For a while they were thought lost to Skaven kind, but after a few hundred years they slunk back into Skaven blight, set up a den, and became the chief spies and assassins of Skavendom. Clan Eshin, much like the rest of the Skaven, have two modes, but they're particularly pronounced with these guys. They have comedy mode and utter horror mode. For the former, where else but Gotrek and Felix displays it the best. When some Clan Eshin gutter runners tried to assassinate Gotrek and Felix, they barely made it to Gotrek. And this was in the early books, so it was before Felix was properly terrifying in his own way. Even in spite of that, the entire assassination attempt reads like a Three Stooges bit. Rats tripped over each other, tripped over furniture, tripped over Felix, tripped onto their weapons. The entire event probably only took about 20 seconds, and by the end of it, almost all of the rats were dead. Their leader escaped, only to later be obliterated by Thanquol for the crime of being vaguely annoying to Thanquol. On the other hand, enter Deathmaster Snikch. Deathmaster Snikch is like a rat version of the alien from Alien. He wields 3 swords of warpstone to super kill enemies dead. He can supposedly teleport using shadows and come out of them at will. He supposedly once assassinated an Empire official, yet the guy's door was locked the whole time and that was the only entrance, so how the hell did he get in?
He went through the shadows, obviously. Come on, he just said that. He could teleport through the shadows.
He supposedly can be anywhere at any time, and you'll never know. All of this supposedly talk is intentionally cultivated by Clan Eshin's higher-ups, because it adds to his terrifying reputation. Clan Eshin assassins completely unrelated to Snikch will carve his mark on the bodies of their targets just to further his legend. Presumably they don't complain about this because they're worried Snikch might pay them a visit for trying to rise above their station. For all that they are assassins, they do still have units to play as large.
Unlike other clan who kill each other to increase their rank, most Eshin Skaven compete in number of contract. Yeah, it kind of seems like they're just like assassins for hire at this point. That's what I'm kind of getting. Came up through the toilet, I bet. You know what? That could be what happened. Snitch have never 100% success rate in lore. It waits like for deleting someone. Skins pull up a 0 to make sure people know who did it. I mean, they seem like they kind of know what they're doing.
Groups on tabletop. Night Runners are skirmishers that have been given the barest amount of stealth training and taught how to throw shurikens and pointy rocks at people. This training, mind you, includes stealing money from blind homeless people, and it has been noted that sometimes these homeless are apparently not only not blind, but proficient in martial arts. Clan Eshin is either rampantly incompetent on most levels or exclusively trains against out-of-work D&D adventurers. Feel free to assume whichever is funnier to you is true. Gutter Runners, meanwhile, are when a Clan Eshin rat can just about grasp concepts like actually sneaking, and are therefore much more dangerous. They can be armed with more than just weapons. Poison is a common thing for them to carry, as well as nets to trip enemies up on the battlefield or in their rooms to make the kill all the easier. And of course, a full-blown Eshin assassin is where the jump from goofy rat person to Michael Myers if he was a rat occurs. In day-to-day life, Clan Eshin deals in information gathering as much as killing people. Information is a valuable commodity, especially in the treachery-ridden Skaven world, and Clan Eshin will sell out their services to spy on rival Skaven warlords to anyone who can meet their price. Of course, they also may be on the payroll of the guy you're trying to spy on, so caution is always warranted. The Council of 13 makes frequent usage of Eshin services, spying on those near and far for their interests. Their den in Skaven Blight is a fairly humble thing, but no one knows what goes on inside of it. Any Skaven that wanders too close tends to disappear, and you can assume all sorts of Home Alone-style traps with a lot more lethality in mind, absolutely.
I mean, considering they carry, like, they said, like, toxic weapons and nets and stuff, I would not be shocked.
Litter the place. They appear incredibly unified by Skaven standards, but that might just be because we rarely see the inner machinations of the clan. When a Clan Eshin character makes an appearance in a book, they're just as cowardly as other Skaven, so they'll certainly still sell out their fellows to save their own skin. It might just be we don't see the dissent and infighting common in other Skaven clans because they hide it very well. It's a lot harder to be horror movie villains when everyone knows your group is just as full of bumbling morons as theirs is. Clan Eshin overall is a fairly mysterious clan with only so much to be discussed, but I want to make it clear that they are to the rest of the Skaven an utterly terrifying force.
Which is crazy if you think about it, because in the other clans, they were saying like, oh yeah, they have all the funky little green glowing rocks and they create all the weapons. And it's like, oh yeah, but this guy can delete you. And it's pretty much guaranteed. Pretty much guaranteed. Like all the other rat races and clans are like terrified of them. Eshin also seems to be much worse powerful in the East of Warhammer world. He seems kind of like overpowered in here. Like, oh yeah, if you're on the list, you're just gone. 07, like you don't stand a chance. Skaven's non-poison weapons will never have been cleaned, so if they don't kill you, whatever nasties are on their blades eventually will. Ew. Your type is the abyssal. It's all good, Minty. Don't worry. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Remember, Skinch's 3 blades are coated in poison. I would not be shocked. Eshin on the upper end of skill are terrifying. Yeah, it just seems like, oh, if someone hires them, you're just 07'd. Like it's just you're just gone. Like you don't even stand a chance. He's just too powerful.
When the Second Skaven Civil War broke out, they were able to not only remain neutral in the conflict as a whole, but hired themselves out to all sides and make a...
That's hilarious. They remain neutral in the war, but you can hire them. Haha, keck.
Profit without getting retaliated on en masse. In the first book of Thanquil's omnibus, he regarded the local ruler of Clan Eshin and Under Altdorf as the greatest single threat he had to face, at least in terms of combatants. That is how terrifying the Skaven of Clan Eshin are to the rest of the Under Empire. And though it was end times nonsense, it was Deathmaster Snikch who snuck into Thorgrim's escape chamber and killed him because he left the door open. They
killed him because he... Wow. 07. Got him. Stealth assassins are usually not the people to cross in general. Yeah, honestly, it just seems like terrifying. Like, oh yeah, they had a war against other people, but they stayed out of it because then everyone would have just been gone. That's what it pretty much seems like. Since has the stats to prove the point in the TT, he really is terrifying foe to Runa, even with other hero choices. He seems like completely overpowered, which is crazy. Eshin assassins can be stopped and beaten, but unless you're a named character, the chance is smaller. I feel like they're just like the strongest right now. I mean, obviously I don't know about the other ones, but he just seems like impossible. They're true neutral. The reason their clan name starts with E is because everyone is catching these hands. I love that. These hands are rated E for everyone. Dragons are very good at wrecking people. Oh, I mean, there was the one rat thing that died to a dragon as well. I think it depends. End times lore is dumb. They were just making up reasons to kill off characters. Sag. The High King of the Dwarfs? Wait, who? Thorgrim is a dwarf, by the way? Oh, okay.
They really can be anywhere, and you may only know you've been targeted by Eshin when an assassin comes to snuff out your life. Oh, and they also really love poison. There's a rat named Ricketick that's compiled a way to kill almost everything in the Warhammer world, mostly with poison. Funny thing is, he sat down with some Imperial scholar and casually told him all about his knowledge. I don't think he even killed the guy afterwards. He just really loved talking about his craft, and his craft happened to be poisoning people. That's oddly sweet, isn't it? At least by Skaven standards.
Pestilence. Okay, wow, this is okay. Oh, Ricketick is great, awesome guy. Yeah, it seemed really interesting. I was like, oh, okay. Passionate fella. If we want to take care of Eshin assassins, numbers are your friend. They're trained for one-on-one fights. They're not so good in group fights. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, we love an autistic rat. What?
This is the other Skaven clan that provokes a sense of fear in Skaven outside of it. However, where Clan Eshin does it by having the potential to jump scare you at any given moment, the fear of Clan Pestilence comes from 2 distinct sources. One is their defining feature, that being their diseases, but the other is something I bet you didn't expect to hear.
I was gonna say, I already see like the things on it. It seems mutated, so what's the other thing?
Shouted outside of 40k or maybe by witch hunters. Heresy. The most obvious trait about Clan Pestilence is their disease-ridden everything. The origins of the clan come during a period of expansion and migration. Their forebearers, whose original clan name is lost to time, ventured under the oceans themselves for generations. This was generations in Skaven terms granted, so like a couple of decades, but that's still a pretty decent amount of time. When they finally arrived at their destination, they realized across the ocean lay the land of Lustria. Lustria, the home of the Lizardmen, is not exactly receptive to outside guests. The land itself is a murderous jungle, like Katakan and 40k, if the whole thing was also magical. Plus, the Lizardmen are Space Marine-sized lizard people that can and will rip you apart for showing up. They lucked out on avoiding the Lizardmen, but when they arrived at the ruined city of Ketsa, the local disease ravaged the clan. At a certain point, barely 100 of them remained, and from here the lore diverges into what I personally call the Fun Skaven route and the GW Hard-On for Chaos route. In the Fun Skaven route, they began worshipping the diseases that ravaged them.
I was gonna say, they're going down a slippery slope here. Oh gosh, these guys suck to fight in Vermintide. They seem like they would be a pain. I like how with each Skaven clan, Skaven, wow, words hard. it's like, oh, this is bad. But wait until you hear the next one. Oh, you thought this was bad? Oh, but the next one. Oh, and this one, yeah, it's pretty bad. You're pretty much guaranteed to be, you know, Control-Alt-Deleted. But the next one, oh my gosh, Heretic Rats only Warhammer. God, I love this setting. This is a little funky. The totally not Nurgle worshipping rats. Holy bananas, I can speak good.
If these diseases were ravaging them so, it must be the Horned Rat's will, and so they would instead embrace this disease as the true aspect of their deity, that of a filthy, disease-ridden carrier of destruction. In the hard-on for chaos route, there was a great unclean one under the city. They started worshipping
Unclean one mentioned. Wah.
As an aspect of the Horned Rat. Same end result, but one is more Skaven insanity and an alternative to Nurgle if you like diseases, whereas the other is more of chaos actually being the origin the whole time. Regardless, their numbers grew. They cultivated quite the knowledge of disease, and after a while they returned back to the old world and Skavendom proper. When they showed back up, they immediately demanded things like territory and breeding rights because Skaven are awful, massive amounts of warpstone as tribute because Skaven are greedy, and a seat on the Council of 13 because you might as well shoot for the moon. Predictably, everyone told Clan Pestilence to piss off. Rather less predictably for the Skaven, Pestilence responded with biological warfare and swarming them with plague monks.
Obviously would make sense, although I'm trying to think, like, if you're like, hey, I need land and, like, all this stuff, and you stroll up looking like this, and I'm assuming it could be spread to other Skaven, you know what I mean? Like, if it's, like, airborne or something, it's probably a really bad time. He does until Harkon starts popping off. Harkon? So I wonder how these Skaven dudes don't get wiped out completely, becoming extinct. I just, like, they keep fighting. I don't know. It's me, look at that teeth. The teeth are a little funky. I don't know how they eat with that. Don't forget the breeding rights. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Forgot that. My bad. Skaven are awful when it comes to multiplying. Don't look up female Skaven. I don't think I will. Thank you very much. Yeah. You're assuming the leaders of clans felt threatened. Yeah, but, like, I mean, that's true. They're all crazy. So you're like, oh, yeah, you're crazy, but I'm also crazy. There are things, disease, it spreads and does so hard. Yeah, so, like, imagine being like, we need some land. I'd be like, here you go. Stay in that little area. Do not move out of that area. That's what you get. You stay in your little sealed off zone so you don't spread the disease more.
Initially, it was expected that Clan Pestilence could be swiftly dealt with via the old reliable method of rattling gun spam. Then the disease got worse. Then Clan Pestilence obliterated an entire clan in the Southlands. Then hundreds of clans switched over to Pestilence's side. Of course, this is still a Skaven civil war. Much like their engineering, things will go wrong at any possible chance, and in this case it occurred when Clan Eshin had nearly every clan warlord of those that sided with Pestilence assassinated. With this rather upsetting turn of events, Pestilence pleaded for a meeting. It was granted, and the Lord of Pestilence, Plague Lord Nurglich, even managed to actually reach the Council of 13 through the swarm of assassins they sent his way. He was allowed to challenge for a seat on the council, and when he threw the weakest council member off the top of a tower, Clan Pestilence was allowed a seat and became one of the great clans.
Yeah, just throw off the weakest member, boom, you're in. That's just simple. Just find the weakest link, goodbye, and then, see, that's how you get on the council, easy. Female Skaven are horrible, I don't want to know. Didn't Penn send you some biowarfare to your house and it's a rat? To be fair, it wasn't Penn, but kind of. I mean, Penn sent stuff, but it wasn't Penn who contaminated it.
They would go on to be responsible for the near destruction of both the Empire and Bretonnia through the Black Plague and Red Pox respectively, though both examples eventually also burned through the Skaven ranks at the height of their campaigning and eventually resulted in a second Skaven civil war. This one was a result of the Horned Rat personally coming in to make sure everyone almost started back.
Also, dumb question, is the Horned Rat kind of like the leader of all the clans of the Skaven, or like, because he comes up, but I don't think they mentioned it specifically, so I just want to know a little bit more. Weakest member of the council does not mean weak. To be fair, it's impressive to do. I mean, being able to single it out and get a seat on the council is kind of crazy. Skaven God. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I was like, they keep mentioning it, and I feel like I should know what it is. His nails are kind of slay though. Like, come on, look at that. Look at those runes on the nails. That's kind of. It's kind of pog.
Behaving, but Pestilence kept their status and power they had gained up to this point. Yes, by the way, you heard that right. The Black Death in Warhammer Fantasy was caused by rats.
Oh.
Just so happened to be on purpose this time around. Clan Pestilence is perhaps the Skaven clan least concerned with personal glory. Oh, to be sure, they will take credit for themselves, but at least amongst characters like Lord Skrulk, they'll try and do things for the glory of Clan Pestilence and themselves. To them, the Horned Rat is especially worshipped, as he is their sickly master who will bring ruin to all those who deny his plagued gifts. Working somewhat together will bring the ascension of not only him, of course, but Clan Pestilence as well.
Okay.
This is where the second part of fear against them comes in. Most Skaven view this as a highly heretical stance to take, breaking tradition with how the Horned Rat truly is to be viewed. The problem is Clan Pestilence is, if nothing else, powerful enough to keep themselves around after 2 massive civil wars, so one way or another, calling them heretics in the street and trying to kill them will just result in that Skaven's death. The other more obvious thing is that they're so disgustingly filthy and disease-ridden that standing near them can cause you to melt into sludge. Non-pestilent Skaven are no safer from this than other races, so it's also for practical purpose that this clan is kept at an arm's reach. Clan Pestilence will occasionally try and cook up some super plague to infect the world with, such as with the Red Pox or Black Death. They tried it in Nuln, but that was during a Gotrek and Felix novel, so you can guess how that panned out for them. When it's time to come out in force, however, they rush down their enemy with countless infected rats that are actually bolstered by their diseases, and the rabid fur...
Wait, is he holding a little, like, actual rat in his hands? Because they're talking about, like, spreading diseases, and I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, man, so they just strolled up, like, yeah, here you go, here's the plague, nice nails, rat god, you slay. I mean, the nails are really cool. The dreaded crack, rat ambush, and vermin side, yeah, they're a little quirky. Showing Billy the Brood. No, don't hurt the little guy. They infect those reeds. No, he's just a little guy. I mean, they're already infected, so I guess they're kind of okay, but rat for the cauldron. No, dunk the little rat in the plague juice and send it forth. No, he's just a little guy. He's so young. Don't hurt him. No.
Of Clan Pestilence means that they'll run away far later than most other Skaven would. In the end times, this is how they took down the Lizardmen. The magical defenses set up were perfectly tailored to prevent any demon from invading the continent.
Okay.
They were not, however, set up to prevent millions of rats fresh out of Asmongold's basement from invading the land of the lizards.
Oh.
For a final note on them, the obvious connection I brought up pretty quickly. Nurgle. There's a weird relation.
So this is Nurgle? Oh, yeah, suddenly the baby diapers make a lot of sense now. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen a picture of Nurgle. Okay, well, of course Nurgle would be involved with the Skaven. Okay, here we go.
Between Pestilence and Nurgle, and indeed how much he's involved is up for debate. There is that whole thing about a great unclean one essentially creating Clan Pestilence, and for God's sakes, the leader of Clan Pestilence has, to my knowledge, always been called Nurglich, followed by whatever number of Nurglich we're on. On the other hand, the Horned Rat has repeatedly entered the mortal world, and Clan Pestilence is still allowed to exist. You might...
No, it's the Great Unclean One. Okay, Great Unclean One, but I think he probably looks similar. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen a picture of Nurgle. The Chaos God of Rotten Pestilence. I mean, it would make sense. Papa Nurgle loves you. That's what I've heard. I don't fully understand that one, but I heard Nurgle loves everybody. A Great Unclean One, but they made it his image. What Nurgle looks like outside of fan art. Really? They wouldn't have a picture for Nurgle? That's kind of sad. Nurgle and Great Unclean Ones and Nurglings look like each other. Man, but they don't have anything? Nobody knows what Nurgle looks like. Most think that the Chaos Gods look similar to the Greater Daemons. Huh. Call him Big Papa. Nurgle has a wife, huh? There's no official art of any of the Chaos Gods. Why not? That'd be so sick. Man. There are no pictures of the forged images of how they might look. No real official pictures from GW. I want to know. I'm emailing GW right now. Dear GW, please. I need images because I can't think of them on my own. Please send help. There aren't any modern pictures of the Chaos Gods. Just fan and old stuff that's probably not right anymore. That's sad. That's sad. Bodies in a single look is for lesser beings, but like, come on, it would be cool. Be cool. Nurgle sounds like someone with pinchable cheeks. I mean, we've compared the baby's poopy diapers to Nurgle, so you're gonna get sued. Don't, huh?
I'd say that maybe Nurgle's too powerful for him to interfere, but Nurgle was at home and the Horned Rat was in their face. I see no reason that he couldn't interfere if that's what he truly wanted to, and get rid of the clan. So instead, here's some ideas for you to think about. Maybe Nurgle did start Pestilence, but as a disgusting asshole rat, the Great Horned Rat sort of adopted them, and now they feed him. Maybe that was never the case, and the Great Horned Rat was always their daddy. Or maybe it's a sort of team project between Nurgle and the Horned Rat. Skaven have worked with others before, and they joined up with Chaos in the End Times to save their own skins. Of course, betrayal is inevitable if that's the case, but that's just more Skaven shenanigans to be had. And whatever the specifics, Clan Pestilence seems to be here to stay. Keep your toilets close by, friends, because diarrhea is sure to follow these rats' footsteps.
True. Whoa, the last one, Clan Moors. Oh, is that the last one? Conclusion, and then, okay, all right. Last Skaven one. All right, let's go. I don't know. See, here's the thing. I don't know if I have a favorite so far. They all kind of scare me. They all kind of scare me a little bit. I can't wait for this one to be even worse somehow. I can't wait.
The final Skaven clan we'll talk about is Clan Moors. Now, I'm gonna describe them to you, and the thought might creep into your mind that, holy shit, these are Skaven good guys. False. Incorrect. Remove that notion from your mind. There are no Skaven good guys. Such a thing does not...
He had me going there in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, Skaven good guy. Oh, okay. All right, Pog. All right, cool. I should have known.
not exist. The Skaven of Clan Moors are, however, perhaps the closest thing they've ever come to having something resembling a functioning code of ethics and morals. Best way to put it is while the Skaven as a whole are chaotic evil, Clan Moors is lawful evil. The Skaven of Clan Moors, even those from once rival clans, usually end up praising the leader of Clan Moors quickly, Lord Nodwell. As a member of the Council of 13, it's a safe, if wrong, assumption to make that Nodwell is using all sorts of tactics, from fear to bribery and coercion, or even magical means to keep his clan so loyal to him. In reality, Clan Moors has discovered something the rest of the Skaven have yet to conceptualize. If you treat your basic clan rats with something almost resembling decency, they will support you over the assholes who throw them into the grinder with a rusty pipe and—
That stonks. Yeah, imagine treating them half decent. That's a stonks move right there. That's a leader move. Clan Moors, the rats that live behind your local kebab shop. They feed on all the meat and will step apart if you look at them the wrong way. Oh. With strength rank 1 around turn 60. Wait, is that good or bad? Just checked. Indeed, minor. Oh, that's something. Rat stonks. Yeah, like, oh, like imagine just treating someone slightly better and then they'll be loyal. Lamau. Decent living conditions. What a novel idea. Why has no one ever thought about this before?
A command to either fight and maybe die, or run and definitely die. And if you arm them almost halfway acceptably, they can fight better. In Clan Moors, if you can be in any way useful, they will find a use for you, and rewards to fit that use. Only traitorous or truly feeble Skaven will be found as Skaven slaves amongst Clan Moors. Treachery, speaking of, is actually frowned upon. If you stab your superior in the back and ruin a battle plan, you're getting sent to the slave pits. Of course, if your commander is actually incompetent, or you can make him appear incompetent, then by all means see him killed. Clan Moors aren't good guys, remember. There are still plenty of Skaven slaves to be found there. It mostly reminds me of a Skaven version of Spartan-style training in regards to how they view treachery. If you can get away with it, you're probably more cunning than the last guy and deserve the spot. But for the
Wait, random question, because I'm looking at this now. Although this is, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Give the rats grilled cheese and wall candy. It was just be loyal. That's pretty much what I'm getting right now. Are Skaven the same height approximately as humans? Because that's is that a elf head? And it kind of seems similar. So they're just like human height relatively? No? Okay, because he's got an elf head, and I was wondering in relation, how's it go? Roughly, yes, about. Oh, storm vermin can be as tall. They vary in size. They're like dwarf size. Oh, okay. A little shorter, I think, but they're mostly hunched over. Skaven are technically taller than people, but hunched over, more like 4 feet, 4.5 feet. Okay. Because I would say this guy looks like about the height of this elf head that they have. Oh, oof. Sorry about Nightbot deleting it. About your size, around 3 foot on average. Wow. You thought that was funny. Yeah. Most Skaven are 4'6" to 5'2". They come in 7 feet tall. Yeah, because I was gonna say, looking at this like headpiece, it's about the same height as the rat head. And then I was like, I can see their body here, but maybe this guy's just really quick. Quick is a big boy. Oh, so it's just this guy in particular. I'd have to see them compared to like the guys at the bottom. Storm vermin, they're human sized, but most Skaven are small. Okay, first word is blacklisted. Sorry, Nightbot got you.
Non-Skaven slaves, Clan Moors is downright accommodating. Even the basic clan rats are allowed to live in decent-ish barracks and are given weapons and proper training. This has resulted in several things going for them that have caused clan Moors to have a rather triumphant rise to power. In-house, clan Moors quickly gains the loyalty of any Skaven they capture. Those that surrender immediately are allowed to become members of clan Moors, and when they see the benefits it offers, they're happy to join. Because unwanted treachery is met with severe punishment, most of the Skaven and clan Moors behave themselves more often than not. Out of house, part of the allure of clan Moors is that a Skaven can hope for a better life. An actual proper career path of doing your job and being promoted through the ranks is entirely possible. It's worked so well that there's worries amongst the other Council of 13 members that even if they have Nodwell assassinated, clan Moors will just pop out another Skaven to replace them and things will continue on as normal for Moors.
I was gonna say, I'm planning an assassin for it, but it just seems like they kind of have the most put together, whereas like the other clans were like, oh, they could just delete each other, Kek Lamau. This one's like, oh, well, they kind of a little bit organized and they kind of know what they're doing. They wear red armor like this. They're around the height of a human. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
There's also the morale drainer of other Skaven realizing who they're fighting. Because more Skaven are actually trained, they tend to fight far more effectively and for far longer without routing. This has in turn given them some good early victories that give them a reputation as fierce combatants. This in turn makes people afraid of clan Moors because they have a reputation for being fierce combatants, which is again at least partially earned. So when clan Moors comes knocking, many lesser clans will outright surrender. This not only bolsters clan Moors with more Skaven that will soon be trained to clan Moors standard, but is yet another victory for clan Moors to wave around and cow other Skaven into submission with. Their greatest feat yet has undoubtedly been their conquest of the lower levels of Carrick 8 Peaks. Known as the City of Pillars to the Skaven, it's become a vital hub of transportation across the Under Empire. Clan Moors controls at least the lower levels and will make any Skaven attempting to cross it or set up shop pay handsomely. It also means they're constantly fighting both Night Goblins and Dwarfs, owning the skills of this clan's military even further. Speaking of, when deployed to battle, Moors can do a little bit of everything, but they're most well known for their regimented and elite soldiers. Clan Moors' storm vermin are a cut above the rest, and even their lowly clan rats can fight in something resembling the cohesion of an Empire State Troop company. Were it not for the end times, clan Moors would very likely have been either a driving force in Skaven society for change, or at the very least the catalyst of yet another Skaven civil war. And if you don't mind me saying, I would bet that clan Moors would be the first time the powers to be of Skaven Blight didn't come out on top.
True.
Clan Moors are not good guys. At their kindest, they don't view their fellows as comrades, but as tools to be cultivated, which is still leagues above other Skaven. Such as Queek Headtaker's relationship with Nodwell, that of a prized attack dog to be thrown at his enemies. But once again, it's far better than what the rest of Skavendom has.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of doesn't seem bad. I mean, I know they're evil, but like, guys are probably the closest thing the Skaven have to adult supervision. They kind of seem like they have everything together. Like, oh, if you stab someone in the back, you're gone. But, you know, you could work your way up to the top and kind of be like a warrior. It's kind of cool. How to step away to miss the sick boys. We're still on the oh, I forgot their name. Starts with an M.
Has to offer. As for Age of Sigmar, all the great clans have become types of clans, so now it isn't just Clan Eshin, for instance, but the Clans Eshin. They all still act the same way, though. A Skaven is still a Skaven, even if they're...
Yeah, the Moors. I don't know why my brain just short circuits. I'm just like, haha, pretty armor, Clan Moors. Ugh. I'd have to see all the names and I'd be able to figure them out based on what they look like. They're lawful evil, they have rules that are actually enforced, but they're not good. Oh, yeah, no, they're definitely terrible, but like, they kind of seem like they kind of got to get more together than the other ones where it's like, oh, well, if you're really smart and you have an invention, I might steal it because I want to be known for that invention instead, even though I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. And I just deleted you so I could steal your, like, that's crazy work.
Their branding has been diluted just a bit. The only odd man out amongst these clans is Clan Moors, who seem to have vanished. That being said, the clan's verminous seem to be the replacement, and indeed have the same basic shtick of Skaven clan that has better normal troops, so maybe they just rebranded themselves to celebrate the new setting. And those are the major clans of the Skaven. Some a bit more regimented, some a bit more technological, all complete and utter assholes. And remember, even the weakest of Skaven clans can be found right underneath your house at this very moment.
Yippee, they could be under my house. If you had to live as a Skaven, definitely want to be in Clan Moors. Yeah, I feel like you have more survivability and then you learn how to actually like fight and stuff. They have it more together. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Thank you as always to my wonderful channel members.
Yippee! Okay, I know there's more at the end. I see it already, so we're gonna wait.
Just that little bit prouder than all the rest. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to subscribe or become a member. Either way,
rabbit under my house impossible. Oh, it's possible. You live in New York. You're the 100% under your house. What? I'm under your house. The sewer's building a WFGT. Haha, pen you would, Lamau. Still more ways than one. Still psychotic. Oh, 100%. They're still crazy, but they're crazy, but still kind of sort of have it together. Clan Skyra, Science, FBI, Clan Mulder, Frankenstein, Clan Eshin, Sneaky, Sneaky, Clan Pestilence, Sick, literally, Clean Moors, Unite and War. Yeah, that's like a TLDR type of thing. It's pretty much what it is. Okay, alright, waiting for this. Waiting for this. Denver cheese. Okay. I see something at the end. Thanks, autocorrect, you bit. Yeah, heck you, autocorrect. Stinky. I'm trying to think of the coolest Skaven one, but I don't know. They all seem like unique in their own way. Okay, people waiting.
Alright, you gotta pick one. You either have to fight one storm vermin or 10 Skaven slaves on the verge of death by starvation. I'm taking the storm vermin. Logically, he's probably quite well fed and could kill me, but I bet I can talk my way out of it. Not by appealing to his morals or anything. God, no, he's still a Skaven. But I bet I can BS my way into convincing him there's a gray seer right behind him, or that his stash of warp tokens has been discovered. Either way, I can then get out of there. Those 10 Skaven slaves, meanwhile, may all go down in a single hit, but they're gonna be vicious and ready to die for the slightest bit of food, which would be me. Even if I do win that fight, I'm coming out of it with rabies at the least.
True. Yeah, I don't...
Even if it's gonna be vicious...
I don't know. I don't think I could win against either of them. I don't think I'd be able to convince anyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any recommendations for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comments below.